there is something interesting from the Terra leak of all things. You know, from the Terra leak, we got a lot of stuff that was like cut from the Kalos games. And interestingly enough, Mewtwo is found in. Toby, do you know the name of the cave that he's found in?
I can't remember it.
I can't remember it either.
It's in the Pokemon Village. Is it not just the Unknown Cave?
Mysterious dungeon, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's something in those lines.
Yeah, well, anyways, he's found there, and it's situated in the Pokemon Village. And the Pokemon Village, that's always been fascinating to me, because, like, it's called the Pokemon Village. But to be honest, it's, like, there's flowers, there's some people, you can find wild Pokemon there. It's not, like, I don't know, it is not what the name Pokemon Village invokes, right?
Sure.
But interestingly, in the Terra Leak, we see that this village was actually supposed to originally be a village of Ditto people. And what I mean by that was that it was supposed to be people in the village, but they were actually not people, and they were instead the Pokemon Ditto. And they were going to be people that, like, you've seen throughout your journey, like gym leaders and stuff, but they were all supposed to have, like, a disturbed face. It didn't say, like, what this face would be, but, like, basically something to let you know, oh, this isn't Grant, this is, like, just, you know,
really messed up
Ditto that's, like, you know, but yeah, so that interests me, because when you combine that with the fact that you have Ditto in the Cinnabar Island over in the Kanto region, and you have him in the Cerulean Cave, and you have all these connections between Ditto and Mew, the fact that, like, the village where you find Mewtwo was supposed to be a village of Ditto, the way I read that is, like, this is a dumping ground for a lab. This village, like, they dumped their experiments here, and
wow, I mean, that's cool.
It's scrapped, so, you know, it's not the case. It's like one of those things where we were talking about, like, canon and implied lore. You kind of can't count this, right? Because it's not in the final.
But you do understand a bit of where their heads were at with it.
Sure.
So
and it's interesting that they were going to commit to, because at that time, like, the idea of Ditto pretending to be a person, I think it only come up in the anime. And at that point, like, and still now, there are many early Gen 1 anime ideas that sort of exist there and there only. That, like, Crystal Onyx is like a classic, like, you know, Pinken Islands and, or, you know, the Pink Butterfree and all the rest of it. That stuff exists, but it exists within anime lore, and those early seasons in particular have a couple of little quirks like that don't come up later. And Ditto transforming into people was one of them. And actually, I don't think that came in properly, like, officially until Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or Sun and Moon, where there's like a side quest about some criminal Ditto that are pretending to be people, and that you can battle human Dittos that all send out Ditto or something like that. So it's interesting that might have been a follow-on from the planned development of this Ditto town.
Yeah, but it was always interesting to me just that they almost did a little Ditto town, which is, and again, it being in the same area where you find Mewtwo, like, Game Freak keeps making an effort to connect Ditto to the same area that Mew or Mewtwo's connected to, and, like, it can't be a coincidence, right?
I don't think it is. I think there is something there. Like, I think there is a story that is implied, like, it has been since the beginning, but I don't think we're ever going to get an answer to it. I think just, again, much as, like, Mewtwo always has one of these two archetypes and, you know, that kind of thing, Ditto's is that it is maybe from space, maybe ancient, maybe connected to these Pokemon, and it'll always be that way, you know?
It's also, now that I think about it too, like, Ditto's kind of, not as much, I feel like, but it's kind of been connected to, like, Meltan and Melmetal as well.
A lot of fan speculation.
So it's interesting that, like, Ditto's just getting tied to the mythicals.
I feel like that was just fan speculation.
It's not 100% fan speculation. They the connections are that, for one, when Meltan was released on Pokemon Go, it started with, I mean, we all remember this, right? We thought Game Freak had, like, messed up and
that's what I'm
dropped
saying.
Pokemon in.
Yeah.
Early.
We thought its goo was Ditto.
Meltan. Right. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. You would see wild Meltan, you would click on it, and then you would run into a wild Ditto instead. And then also, like, again, this is where we get into, like, it's cut, so we probably can't really consider it as much, but Ditto had a planned evolution in Gen
Mhm.
2 that was a metal code evolution. And so it is
Mhm.
like, they're tying it to the,
And there's a further final bit here, which is that Meltan and Melmetal were obviously released for the first time in the video games in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, in which you encounter their master trainers, I believe, in Cinnabar Mansion, alongside those for Mew and Mewtwo. So there's like a further little connection there, and something Volcano Island, Mercury, something, I don't know. Meltan is truly the closest in terms of like the impact a mythical Pokemon has had on the franchise since Mew, honestly. Like, I think there's definitely some weird connection there in that family of Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I think part of the reason for that could be because Meltan's another Pokemon that's like completely a mystery, right? Like it's to this day listed as like an unknown. Like, I don't know if you saw, Toby, but like they're dropping the Alola sitting cuties soon. And like Meltan's not in that lineup. And so it's like, when will they release Meltan? They've made like a point to make it this.
It's gonna be just like the Shiny Rayquaza. I spoke to Sarah B. Joe about this. I was like, when are they gonna do that? And he was just like, probably it's just like a solo drop. They'll just be like,
sure.
By the way, here's Seaton Cutie Meltan and Melmetal, which is so cool that they still committed to this.
Right.